Hello again, everybody. This is Rocket Rick J18, and today I'm going to show you some pickups, recent pickups that I haven't shown before, on my channel. They are all going to be pre-World War II vintage cards, 20th century, because I don't have any 19th century cards. And some of them are going to be cards that are going to be going into sets that I'm working on, such as the 1940 play ball set, or the 1935 Goudey set. Let me just tell you a little bit about those two sets. The 1940 play ball set has 240 cards in it, and they are some of them are Avi playing days, the players who were actually playing in 1940. And some of them are old retired veterans. And there's some great names in there, Shoeless Joe Jackson, Christy Mathewson, Walter Johnson. One guy who is conspicuous, or two guys, I guess you could say, that are conspicuous by their absences are Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig, who are not in the set. Honus Wagner is in there. Just some great players. So, and then some of them, like these 1936 Goudey wide pen premiums, are not part of a set. I do have a collection of them. I've got about maybe 25 or so. And then one is a 1941 double play card, which is a nice card. There are three different cards in here of Luke Sewell. There is a card here of right. There's a card here of Hans Lobert, who retired in 1917. He's featured in this book, which many of you have read. Some of you have listened to the audiobook version of it. He's about halfway through the book, Hans Lobert. He got the nickname Hans from Honus Wagner, whose nickname was Hans. And so anyway, it's and he got that when he played in Pittsburgh. He played for a number of different teams. Finished his career with the Giants, Christy Mathewson, and those John McGraw and so forth. And so the 35 set is an interesting set because it has 36 different uh, 36 different card fronts. Of course, there's 4 players depicted on each card. And they're divided up by teams for the most part. And so I'm going to show you a little bit about those cards. So let's take a look at the cards, and we'll turn the camera down. We'll re-coordinate. There we go. And we're going to so the first card is picture number 1, card K. The picture refers to the backs of the cards, and I'm just going to give you a little shot to look at what these cards look a little bit like in the back. Let's take one out. They're in tough condition, so not going to hurt them much by doing this. Just let you take a look at that. This is the Detroit Tiger picture on the backs of picture number 1. Card K refers to the 11th card in that it takes to make up that puzzle. And so these are both picture number 1 and cards J and K. And here's the Giants cards. Bill Terry is the Hall of Famer there. And also has Gus Mancuso, Travis Jackson, and player Schumacher. I don't know his name, so and you can also look at the White Sox cards. And I picked up a couple of Luke Appling cards, and one of them is one of these 35 Goudeys. So look at them both at the same time after I fiddled around with them for 5 minutes, 7 minutes. Luke Appling, of course, is a Hall of Famer. Jimmy Dykes, this is the first of 3 Luke Sewell cards that you're going to see in this episode. I also recently acquired 2 other Luke Appling cards, so he's a 3-time winner also. So anyway, that's the 35 Goudeys. Next are the 36 Goudey premiums, which are American Card Catalog designated R14s. And there's about, I don't know, gosh, easily over 100. So the first one I'm going to show you is the last card actually in the checklist. It's Whitlow Wyatt. It was a pitcher for the White Sox. And a catcher named Rabbit, and I'm going to say his name is Pitlack. I don't know how to pronounce it. I've never tried to pronounce it before I bought this card. So if that's not how you pronounce his name and you know, just drop a comment down below, and I will be duly chastised. Now, the next card that I'm going to show you is the aforementioned Luke Sewell, who obviously is with the White Sox, in a great catcher pose. I think this is as good as exists for these cards in terms of the pose and the photographer's work on this. And also, another great picture is the Dick Bartell card of picturing him sliding back into first base. And you say, well, how do you know it's not third base? Well, you do know because you can see the dirt infield that he has his hand on as he's coming back into first base. So, but it's a great picture Great photograph. Dick Bartell. So those are my 36 Goudeys. Card number 48 in the 1940 play ball set is also Luke Sewell. And he played a lot for the White Sox and is pictured with Cleveland here in 1940. And there's Luke Sewell. Card number 68 is Ernest Gordon Babe Phelps. And he was a catcher for the Brooklyn Dodgers and also the Chicago Cubs. So there are those two gentlemen. You can see the backs of the cards are pretty plain. Play ball says down at the bottom, a pictorial news record of America's favorite sport. Save these cards, know all about the game and its greatest players. New pictures every year. And it is the same. This is the same company, Playball Gum Inc. is the name of the company, that brought you the Bowman cards in the 50s, late 40s and early 50s. Playball were also manufactured by Gum Inc. There's those two cards. Card number 68 is the Brooklyn Dodgers Dolph Camilli. Dolph was the winner of the Most Valuable Player Award in 1941 before he went off to war. And he was gone from 1943 through 1946, the end of 1946, in military service. And Dolph was a first baseman. Card number 160 is Hans Lobert. Hans Lobert is featured in this book, The Glory of Their Times, and it's not gonna. So you did get to see that earlier on, so I'm not going to feel too bad about not being able to really show it very well. Really interesting character, and if you listen to the audio book or on the website, he's one of those older players. His career ended in 1917, as we said, and just a fascinating character. So card number 198 is Denny Galehouse. And Denny Galehouse is probably most infamously known as the starting pitcher in the one game elimination playoff in 1948 between the Red Sox and the Indians. The Red Sox had a couple of 20-game winners, and they started one of them. And the Red Sox had 5 pitchers on their staff that had better records, won more games than Denny Galehouse. Why Joe McCarthy picked him, I guess, obviously you can see he's right-handed, but the guy that had his rookie season and won, I think, 18 games was Mel Parnell, and he was fabulous. He was just, and he was great in Fenway Park. So there was no reason not to go with him. You could have gone with Ellis Kinder, uh, Joe Dodson. Uh, his first name escapes me, but I think the winningest pitcher on the Red Sox was a guy named Kramer. Um, it's unfathomable, and Galehouse got shelled. I mean, he was uh, out of the game and early, and the Red Sox never got back in the game. So it's interesting if someone I know some of you guys have gone up to the Boston show at the Shrine, and I'd be interested to to see if you had any contact with any of the Boston fans, and the subject of Denny Galehouse in 1948 came up. The last card that I have to show you is this 1941 double play card that has features Dixie Walker when he was with the Brooklyn Dodgers, and Ducky Medwick, who was also with the Brooklyn Dodgers, but he's most well known for his days with the St. Louis Cardinals. Ducky Medwick won a Triple Crown in, I believe, 1937, and I believe he is the last National Leaguer to win the Triple Crown. All that far back, almost 90 years ago. Dixie Walker, brother of Harry Walker. I think that's right. He was initially with Boston. He was traded in 1947, or maybe just before the 1947 season, because he was one of those who did not want to play with Jackie Robinson, and so that he was traded away. Both the Walkers could hit, that's for sure. And the backs of these cards are plain, so there's nothing on the backs. The double play cards come in this horizontal format for the portraits, and they also have some in-action cards, but they're vertical format, and then the cards are a little narrower, obviously, to fit running the length of the card. I don't have any of those. I certainly plan to get one. I'd like to get the Ted Williams version. I have the Joe DiMaggio, but his only comes in a portrait. So not every player had both. So that's what I have to show you, and let me just pop back up to tell you where you can see my lovely face. And so far, I had in a previous video suggested that you could weigh in on whether or not I should give a nickname to my not the channel, but the place where the channel is filmed. And so and I've suggested the launching pad, and so far the results have been pretty favorable, but I haven't quite decided whether to actually do it. I'm kind of waiting to see what my buddy Scott uh, at Stukes Cards and Curiosities with the Curiosity Cave thinks. I'm inclined not to do it if he doesn't think it's a good idea, but um, so far it's been favorably received. The idea has been. So that's what I have to talk about, what I have to show, and in the meantime, this is Rocket Rick J 18, wishing that all your card collecting dreams come true.